What's up, people? Welcome back to the Parts Guys. Today I'm wrapping up things with the Nudelude. What I'm continuing with is a knock sensor circuit code. That code is P0325. It's the last thing stopping me before I go through eMiSsIoNs. But let me just say, before we get started, when you see that code, the first thing you're going to want to do is swap that knock sensor. Stop it. This thing, this little guy, it's like $100 still to this day. So it's not something that's going to depreciate and get cheaper over the long run. It's just freaking expensive. Don't swap it. Let's check the wiring. If you've been watching the videos for a while, you already know that this engine is not the original motor for the car. This one I swapped in from a good running vehicle that was just clapped out, rotted all to pieces. But this one had a good shell and everything, so I put the motor in. When I got it, there was no engine in it, and the freaking harness was just laid out about looking like junk. Now, since I got this knock sensor code, and we already knew that, JJ said to pull back the carpet and take a look at the ECU. I'm going to show you what I found when I got there, but before, let me give you a little quick reference of where the knock sensor is in correlation to the engine. Reference, what we got here, this junk motor, this is the original motor from the Nudelude. This, if we're looking at it, this is the intake side of the engine right here. Now, above the oil filter housing here, and then under the intake manifold, you got this bung. And what you'll see when you're looking under the car is you'll see this knock sensor just threaded in there. We'll just get another thread in there. But, so that'll be hanging out. It's pretty easy. It's just a one wire that goes in and connects on that tab. That's all. So, I would say, in a traditional sense, this is where I would start with checking for continuity. Alright, so real quick, before I show you what I found when I pulled back the carpet, this wire has always just dangled. When I got the car, there was no motor in it. The trans was just hanging, like, you know, partially with a ratchet strap. And that wire was there along with the old harness that was just kind of barely hanging there, with a water neck still attached. But nonetheless, I saw this wire and I was like, I'm just going to ignore that thing. But this is when it came back to bite me. I'll show you real quick. Come over here, pop this on open. Now, when I came over and peeled back the carpet, found the ECU just sitting like that. The plug was connected, though. I did unplug that. But nonetheless, with that, I found the red wire, where it goes. And you can see someone has spliced in right here that red wire. Now, if you look a little more closely, there's this wire that's depinned. That is red with a blue stripe on it. And then this wire that's on here, it's red with silver dashes and a black stripe on it. Now, there's another wire coming out of that same plug that has that same pattern. So it looks like someone spliced like a wire from another lude or something like that out of the junkyard, and then just ran this cheater wire to the knock sensor, and that's why I'm not getting any signal. But to check that, first off, I'm going to make sure I got continuity with this, with having it plugged in at the sensor over there. At the old harness here, this is the one that came with the Nudelude. This is the suspected bad harness. So let's start from down here where we know we're fresh. It's the alternator. Let's just follow that. Come over here. These are injector plugs. Kind of find our bearings. This, we got a freaking oil pressure. That's going to go there. So that puts us right here at this red and blue wire. Red wire, blue stripe. And you can see they tried to fix it by splicing in a connection here. They probably thought that the connector burned out or whatever. Or maybe it did melt or something. I don't know the story on it. I ain't gonna ask the guy what happened at this point. But anyways, since I don't know the story, I'm assuming they spliced this. That may have worked for temporary or didn't work. And just to get around it, they ran that cheater wire. Most of you guys probably already know what you're doing on this. But take your multimeter, turn it on, stick it to the little omega sign area. And then right here, that's like the little beep section. You do that, whoop, and it's gone. It don't matter. We don't need to look at it. But one thing that's important, you take these two probes, stick them together, you hear that beeping. You know you have continuity between these 2 points. And that's how we're going to check if that depinned wire is connected at that knock sensor and there's no breaks going to it. I'm just going to take this wire, touch it to the probe. Whoop. And I'm going to touch this plate. That beeping tells me there's continuity. So the wire from this harness, the beginning of this harness, is good all the way to the connection at the knock sensor. So I should be able to repin this connection and go past emissions. We'll go ahead and wrap that around this pin connection, tape it up so it's shielded, and then in that instance it should be okay if I did all my other homework correctly.
We're not soldering it and doing crazy stuff and changing it because we want to put this pin in this plug, right? So this is just testing purposes.
Yep, exactly.
Make sure that everything's going to work. And I'm going to say that's going to be just as good as soldering it and whatnot.
Yeah.
And for testing purposes, we are going to...
We're doing this so that we can rip down the street real quick. JJ hasn't ridden in it, and I haven't driven it in forever, so I would like to rip down the street. She'll probably just fall on her face, be like, "Bruh!"
No, I doubt it.
This is when the oil pump gave out.
Nudelude. It's the first time I've been in here. It's freaking fantastic. These are all private roads. We have...
These are Mexican roads here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, good thing we're in Mexico.
Yeah, good thing. Good thing. We'll go down this way.
We do have insurance, so we're good.
Yeah, no, we're good. If we hit someone, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's give her a little. Check engine light came on.
Already?
Came on immediately.
Man, is it plugged in?
Huh? What do you mean plugged in?
Do we have the old wire plugged in or the new wire? It already feels weaker.
Yeah, they don't feel good. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Same one, P0325.
Are you sure it's plugged in underneath?
I mean, I can double check again, but it had continuity. The fluid in the reservoir. Yep, there we are.
What the crap?
You know what the code is, you know it. Alright people, so it's pretty late now. JJ's already gone home. I actually got the wire out now because I stopped messing around and I did it the right way. This little white piece, this is a lock. And you see, you can't really see too well, but while that's pried up there, that's as high as it needs to go to unlock it. The whole time we were trying, it was still locked. So now that it's unlocked, I was easily able to stick about a medium-sized safety pin, you know, medium size, whatever that means, safety pin in there, and then I was able to pull out this here wire. So now I'm going to take out our little janky wiring system here and put the original pin, the good pin, supposedly, that we have continuity at, back in here. And so that should solve our problems, hopefully. If that's not the case, then I think it might be an issue in there. We'll find out, though, tomorrow. Alright, people, it's the next day, and now I'm going to find out if my repinned wire is actually going to be okay with the good engine harness and be able to pass emissions with the light up. So, you guys saw the first two goes, it kicked that light as soon as I gave it a decent load in, like, second gear. Okay, we're going to put a load on and see what she does. Well, that was much better. Hasn't thrown the light yet. Oh, that does sound good. That sounds good, looks good. Doesn't seem to be a problem. Oh, I don't have a visor in this one. Crap, that sucks. No visor. Alright, this is the amount of load last night that was throwing the code. So, if it's not throwing the code off that, that's a great, great sign. I think we fixed it, boys! Yeah! I think we fixed it. However, every time I say that, the light kicks back on. That's a hefty load. Didn't throw the light. Did not throw the freaking code's back. Okay, so since the code came back, I got her back up in the air, and I decided I would just start from the basics. I went to the knock sensor, and I checked for continuity. You know what I didn't have there? No continuity. So, I had to move on to the next step. Come on over here. You got this junction here. This was the next step to start checking at. I plugged the knock sensor back in, and then I checked for continuity at this plug, because this one's the one, this is the engine's harness here, and I had continuity there. So, I checked for continuity here, on this plug, and I didn't have continuity. So, I thought, well, maybe somehow I must have shoved that pin in upside down, and I'm not making connection somehow. Which, I don't know, it's definitely an intermittent thing. From there, I came inside the vehicle. Whoop, let me come around. Oh, you're probably not going to see nothing. Okay, anyways, so I pulled that pin back out to check for continuity. There, at the end, I did not have continuity. So then I notice, you may not be able to see it. I'm going to try to give you a view. See that little cut right there? Let me bend it around. When I bend the wire slightly, I got continuity here. So that break is either causing enough interference that I'm not getting the continuity, because it's definitely measuring resistance. It's not showing, it's not beeping for me. So basically, to fix that correctly, I need to get a new terminal, just pretty much snip that, expose some wire, put a new terminal on it, shove it in. So this is what I came up with. As you can see, I went and grabbed the wire that was attached to the cheater wire before. Just because I had a little more length to it, I got that cut back, some wire exposed, and did the same thing for the wire in the harness. Just used the heat shrink kind of butt connector there. I've already heat shrinked the one side, still left the other side open for the moment. I have checked continuity at the end of it here. We got good continuity. I'm going to go ahead and heat shrink that side and throw it back in the connector there, and then check continuity once again. And if that's still square, I should have all the kinks out of this. Alright people, I'm calling it quits here. I have taken the car on a full drive cycle, and it's leaving the check engine light off. So I've done that about 4 times now. It seems to be okay, but I don't know exactly if it was just that wiring, you know, but I also, in the process, swapped the knock sensor too. This knock sensor I had swapped in from the blown up motor when I first had the knock sensor code show up, before I ever found the main wiring issue. So I don't know if that had any factor at all, but nonetheless, I put the known good one in, and the wiring squared away. Everything seems to be fine. I've got that all taped up, and shouldn't be really an issue at all. But yeah, tomorrow I am going to take this first thing in the morning to go try and pass emissions, and then once we got that taken care of, honestly, I'll have it plated and we can start having some real fun. Alright people, that's gonna wrap it up. I passed emissions and I have the car registered, so all is well that ends okay, right? I'm cruising in the Nudelude. It feels great, and it's legal to do it right now. But nonetheless, this has been the Parts Guys. I'm the Prelude dude. Till next time, I'll see you. Peace.